and I've been around the profession maybe up to 30 years. What it is that I do, okay. It's almost like birds swim, no, birds don't swim. Fishes swim, birds fly, and what I do is this. And it's an evolvement of having entered the alternative, complementary type healthcare, wholeness care. And yet within the first several years, you start to have this feeling like, okay, there's more to health. Or what I immediately felt was for somebody to be sick and somebody playing the role of fixing that sick person was very odd to me. And it was a very subtle awareness, and yet I went like, very strange that even somebody should have to come to somebody thinking that they're sick and thinking that they need to get corrected. I wasn't quite sure. I mean, it wasn't a major revelation as then it was more just a subtle, one of those kind of side jokes, but very real to my own innerness. And of course, what can you do about it but just kind of play along with it? And yet, all the while, continuing to allow yourself to feel certain things that, and not that it's not right, but it's just a hunch that everyone starts to have relative to what the heck is going on here in life. So over the years, we all look to learn more stuff relative to our profession or just to our life or to be more successful or to be happier and feel better. And the tendency is that we still continue to do that. And along the way, you run into technologies and certain things stick and certain things just fall off the wayside. So after X number of years, and it's still changing. So it's not even to say that I have anything definitive to say about anything, and yet I, just based on looking at what I've been doing, what I had done, what I had studied, and what I see going on out there, I would say that on some level it's time well spent for me. and on another level it's like time totally wasted if you look at it from a societal conventional viewpoint. So, and of course, we're not saying one as opposed to the other, and that one is mutually exclusive. They're both lived by us in day-to-day, moment-to-moment life. So, having said that, it's not going to make any sense, but it's, well, if anything, in this modern era, as opposed to the olden days when we heard that the world was flat, or that the sun revolved around, or the universe revolved around the earth, and such and such and such and such. The new thing in science is that everything is energy. And we all pretty much buy that. Because of the work that I gradually stepped into, when I read something, I take it actually not as a metaphor, but as kind of the truth, because it tends to match parts of my experience. Okay? So as I'm working with individual people, if they shift and we suspended certain natural laws, then if we can suspend natural laws, or there's a shift in gravitational stuff that happens around our area, then if I interpolated or extrapolated that, it would mean that it could be influenced further. Yeah. So all the while working on people, I started thinking like, wow, I'm not even really actually healing. I'm not in the healing profession anymore. We're not here to fix anything or change anything or improve anything. We're just looking to become who we are becoming. And rumor has it that we're powerful, spiritual, infinite beings. And so we just take it literally, not metaphorically. We start to take it literally. But based on some experience that I've had clinically or field testing it on me or others reporting back or getting feedback, and there's a lot of literature out there, bits and pieces of the puzzle in many different disciplines, whether it be modern science or ancient prophecies or mysteries or whatnot and whatnot. And the consensus is that everything isn't real. It's just a projection of our consciousness, albeit very persistent illusions of our consciousness. So we're still looking at both ends of the stick, whereas as a quote healer or a doctor, you're looking at one end of the stick as opposed to looking at the other end of the stick. We've all heard of mind, body, spirit, or mind and body, but ultimately we have this thing called physical world and we have this thing called non-physical world, which tends to be thoughts and feelings. And by observing things in our world, we still tend to keep it in our minds. So it still tends to be mind here and body here. And again, we intellectualize our spirit as opposed to being the spirit. And simply put, all I'm doing is getting the mind here, which would tend to be invisible, and the body here, which tends to be visible, and wondering where the spirit is. Okay? Because the mind in itself, depending on who you read, thinks of bad things, and the body, depending on who you read, does bad things. So now we're just going to have to get rid of the mind, and we're going to have to get rid of the body. Okay? And yet we still have this thing called consciousness. And again, I'll start to digress if as I go there or intellectualize things. So it's a matter of, again, starting to work with certain things that I would inwardly resonate with as the truth. And that would be things like we're infinite spiritual beings and we create our reality. And so thus, over the years, we'll take this seminar, this seminar, this seminar, this seminar, and ultimately nothing works for me because, it doesn't.